here at this stadium more than any other place other than America?
In my career?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Regular season and playoffs. Just what do you like about pitching here? What do you not like about pitching here? What kind of, when you think of this pitching in this park, what comes to mind for you?
I enjoy pitching here. I mean, the environment's great. You talk about postseason baseball and the noise and kind of the chaos and the rowdiness. I think this place kind of embodies all of that. So I enjoy playing here.
3 starts in a row against these guys. I guess kind of what are your expectations for that? It's pretty unique.
I don't care. I'm just trying to win a ball game. That's really the only expectation I have is trying to win tomorrow.
Are you look back on the last 2 and draw anything from those, or do you kind of treat it as it is a brand new game?
Yeah, sure. I mean, you can kind of, you get a feel for hitters and what they're trying to hit. But I mean, I've said this all year. It just comes down to executing pitches. It really does. You can have a great scouting report and a great plan. If you don't execute, the plan doesn't matter. You know what I mean? So, we'll have a great plan and great game plan, but at the end of the day, when I'm out there, it's about competing and about executing pitches, and that's all that matters.
Tarik, a lot of people in Cleveland really admire the fact that you went to visit David Fry in the hospital. So can you just reflect on that visit?
Yeah. First off, very thankful for Vogt to allow me to reach out and kind of understand what was going on with me mentally in that moment, and allowing me to go with them and kind of almost, I don't want to say impede, but I'm not on their team, and I know they're a tight knit group, so it was special for me to be able to go and just see them and apologize. Obviously, I know it's part of the game, but stuff like that is scary, and that's real life stuff, and people don't think of our sport as a contact or physical sport as you might think like the NFL, but stuff like that can happen, and it can be life-changing. Luckily, I think it's all been pretty positive for him. The only negative is, he can't play right now, and that's something that, I feel bad about. I obviously want, him playing. But yeah, I think that's just what you're supposed to do in that situation. It felt like that's what I should do, and I'm very thankful I was able to do that and see he's doing all right. And I saw a video of him on the field yesterday with the guys, and that made me feel a lot better too.
Is it an advantage or detriment that the first start since that will be here against the team, and that you don't have an off season that kind of will first start back here? Or
I'm not quite sure I understand the question. From that moment?
Yeah, you're making a start here a week later instead of maybe next season coming back here and it being the first start 9 months later, being back in the same spot.
That kind of puts me in a bad spot no matter how do I answer that. Yeah, I don't really know how to answer that question. I'm sorry.
What are you talking about in the truck with Vogt when everything is going, like, is that an awkward truck ride over to the hospital, or what are you talking about?
No, I mean, first off, he's awesome. I got a ton of respect for him across the way. I like the way he manages the game. I like the way it feels like he doesn't take anything too serious. When their catchers don't catch the ball, he gives them the no catch sign. I've watched it for the last 2 years, and it's awesome. It doesn't matter what the situation. They could be down 10, and he still does it. And I'm like, that's pretty cool. But just kind of talked through the whole situation, and, he's like, you shouldn't feel bad at all. I mean, you can't help but feel a little, responsible for the situation. He's like, I feel just as bad because I'm the one who put on the sign, and kind of we talked through that way too. And and then we just kind of talked baseball, life, his kids, his family, kind of what's going on there. My kids, my family, just checking in on kind of the human element of the game that I think goes overlooked a lot of the time when you're out there competing. So. He's a really, really good dude. We've had some pretty special conversations. Even after the last playoffs, like Game 2, I saw him when I was walking to the bus, and he said some really, really cool things that you don't expect to be said to, especially after your team loses in a game like that and we're going home to our home field. So, I got a lot of respect for him.
It seems highly unusual to have that sort of relationship or respect with an opposing manager you've never played for before. Am I making too much of that, or is this like just a really unique situation all the way around?
I feel like I know him. We see him so much. I feel like I know him. I've never played for him, but I feel like I know him. I mean, word gets around throughout the league about everybody, and I think it's pretty unanimous that everyone's got a lot of respect for him, and that's why this team, consistently wins.
Would you compare the general vibe around the team right now compared to a year from now at the same time going into the playoffs? Just by the way in which you got there, does it feel any different, or is the same vibe there that wasn't there a year ago?
Yeah, I don't think it. I mean, we're in the playoffs. That's why you play the game. That's why you prepare. It's why you go to work for the last 7 months. It doesn't matter how we got in. We're in. And I think that's the vibe. And it was the same vibe that we had last year. Obviously, it's kind of like our seasons were flipped. First half, second half. But it doesn't matter now. All that matters is tomorrow's game and this series, and everybody's, besides the teams that aren't playing in this wild card round, everybody's in the same boat, and doesn't matter how you get there. You just got to go out there and compete and win a baseball game.
It's a light face in this Cleveland lineup because it seems like, especially the bottom of the order, has gotten hot in September.
Yeah, I think they're a pretty, tough group. They never quit. They got however many guys, 13 or 14 offensively that are going to be, on this roster, and they never quit. And I think that makes the game really fun. I think we kind of have the same group too, so it should be a pretty cool series.
Tarik, what have you seen from Dylan Dingler over the past year? How has your relationship grown with him catching most of your starts after, Jake caught every single one of your starts last year?
Yeah, he's been great. Outstanding behind the plate. Obviously, with the bat in his hand, he's been really good this year. He can do a lot of things. He can throw. He can backpick. He can get you out of tough situations when you're on the mound. He calls a great game. He's right there with you. He's battling there with you every single pitch. And as far as a pitcher, that's all you can really ask for behind the plate.
What do you think it is about him that's allowed him to, grow into this role so young in his career?
Yeah, I think a little bit of that is, confidence in himself. I think he's always kind of had that. And then I always say, you need a little bit of success at this level to kind of, help bring that confidence out of yourself. And he had that, and he sustained it, which is impressive. His season, I feel like, has been as steady as anybody on our team. So I think that speaks to the guy he is, the teammate that he is, and obviously the baseball player.
Tarik, your changeup, has that been the pitch that has always been your most comfortable secondary offering? And how have you seen that pitch, perform this year in particular?
I think it's been pretty good. I'm pretty confident in that pitch. I face a lot of right-handed bats, so I need something that goes to the left. When I came up, it kind of only had the ball that could go to the right. So I needed, and then once you start getting platooned like I was, you need something that goes to the left. And that's just a pitch that's been kind of an equalizer for me. When guys are geared up to hit fastballs and sliders, they tend to get pull happy. Well, it's hard to pull a changeup, when it's going the wrong way, the other way. So it's been a good pitch for me.
Tarik, there's obviously been a lot made of it's Cleveland, it's Detroit. You guys have played each other a bunch, the playoff series last year. So take that out of it for a second. Just your postseason experience in general. I'm not asking you to give away state secrets, but do you feel like you're learning from your previous postseason experience where this can be a different go-round for you?
Yeah, I think every opportunity. I don't care if it's regular season or postseason. I think every start is an opportunity to learn. Good or bad, work on it and get better. And that's the same. The game is still the same game in the postseason. You still got to throw strikes. You still got to get ahead of guys, and you got to get to leverage and put guys away. The game stays the same. There's a ton to learn. Obviously, the atmospheres are a little bit different, but this is why you play. Is for these moments. This is really why you play. You prepare, and the regular season is fun, and there's Friday night crowds, but these crowds are different, and this is why you play the game. This is why you work hard, or this is why I work hard, is to go out there and be in these situations to even be able to be in the postseason. I think last year something that resonated with me a ton was, AJ was like, once you make one, you never want to miss another one, and that's something that I'm like, yeah, that's very true. I've never experienced postseason baseball before last year, and I don't ever want to miss it again.
What did you guys see out of AJ over the past month when the losses started piling up and the noise around it got a little bit louder?
Yeah, I think, the noise gets loud outside, the noise isn't very loud inside. You know, I think we were the same group, obviously, just weren't winning games. And I haven't really thought about why or anything like that. I'm trying to prepare for tomorrow's game in this series, but yeah, we just weren't winning, and I don't really know what to put the finger on that or what to blame or whatever, but nor should anyone get blamed, to be honest. But yeah, we just weren't winning. So it's part of the game. I think he was been the same guy always, and that's something I've always respected, about him. It doesn't matter the situation. He's always the same guy.
Building off of that, how hard is it to actually ignore outside noise? I mean, we live in a world where people are constantly on social media and everybody's got an opinion. How hard is it to just block all that out?
Yeah, I think with social media, first off, everyone's entitled to their own opinion, whatever those are. Yeah, I guess social media is a blessing and a curse. You see a lot of things, but you also get to connect with a lot of people that you probably wouldn't be able to through those, ways. But at the end of the day, I don't really care what anyone else says. I care about what my teammates say. I care about what my coaching staff say. I care about what my trainers say, and that's all that really matters. Everyone that wears the Old English D, that's the opinions that I value. I don't really value any other opinion about what anyone wants to write about.
Tarik, you mentioned Vogt doing a good job kind of balancing the competitive edge and also not taking it too seriously. It seems like you do that during your starts in between innings with Chris Fetter. It seems like you're pretty loose. Has that always been the case for you? Is that something you've really, so can you talk about at what point you kind of felt comfortable joking after an inning, whether it went well or not well?
Yeah, I think early in my career, I took everything way too seriously, and I was the headphone on guy and didn't talk to anyone on my start day because I thought that's what you were supposed to do. And not that that's wrong. I think everyone's kind of, everyone's unique, especially starters. But it just wasn't me. It wasn't me. And when I got hurt in 22, I didn't really know if I was enjoying the game as much as I should be. I'm living my dream, right? And I'm not enjoying it as much as I should be. So, I don't want people to think that I'm not locked in or I'm not out there competing, because I very much am. I'm a very high competitor. I've always been that way. I think the way I was raised with my family, I've always been that way. And I just probably wasn't enjoying the game as much as I should. And that's kind of what switched when I came back. And it kind of takes big life moments, as surgeries, which are unfortunate, but you can learn a lot from them and learn about yourself. And I just learned that I need to enjoy the game of baseball and just go play and be who I am and go out there and compete. But, this game is beautiful, so you need to enjoy it, whether it's going your way or whether it's not.
Despite that, AJ said when your kids get older, you'll still beat them.
He just told me that, which is true. Which is true, yeah. I don't... I want to get my boys in golf, and that's a selfish reason because I want to play golf with them, but I will never let them beat me until they can beat me. I don't care what tees they want to play for. It doesn't matter. But, yeah, I don't think my dad let me beat me in anything. My older brother's damn sure didn't, so, yeah, I agree with him. I don't know if that means I'm a bad dad or not, but whatever.